Hello everyone, Xeon over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you our review of Capcom Fighting Collection 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this review was originally written by PJ O'Reilly for NintendoLife.com, but was reworked into this video by me. We love Capcom Fighting Collection 2. There, that's the review done. Seriously though, this is a particularly strong lineup of actual arcade bangers that only has a small weak spot across a stellar roster of classic titles. So it's not really a surprise we love it. Outside of losing some console-specific extra modes, it's not the easiest of game collections to pick faults with. Where Capcom Fighting Collection focused perhaps a little too much on Darkstalkers, this time we're getting served up a much stronger selection overall that delivers, amongst other things, the Power Stone games, available for the first time here since the PSP exclusive Power Stone collection all the way back in 2006? Why, Capcom? What took you so long to do this? To be honest, the inclusion of Power Stone and Power Stone 2 alone is enough to warrant a purchase personally. These 3D fighters bring us right back to our Dreamcast days. And there's still a whole lot of chaotic multiplayer fun to be had here, with the second game especially wowing us all over again. If you can look past some chunky graphics, which can perhaps make deciphering what's happening on screen a tad tricky to modern eyes, there's hours upon hours of silly knockabout fun to be had with pals in these two enormously colorful classics. Not only this, but with rollback netcode and all the other modern bells and whistles you're getting in this collection, including online casual, ranked, lobby play, and online leaderboards for every game, this is the best we've had it with the Power Stone franchise. We can't wait to get fully stuck into the online arenas when the full thing releases so we can literally party with you all like it's 1999. Unfortunately though, we didn't get to try out the online play in this review period, as there really just wasn't anyone online to play with. Now, for newcomers to the mayhem, it helps that the rules are so simple and effective. Grab the gems, power up, and wreck everyone. What's not to love? And especially when it all looks this great and fully gives you the sense you're playing an impressive piece of video game history. Maybe you'll take it all in and get a feel for where some of its mechanics went, how other games lifted and morphed and molded what's here into stuff that younger gamers may recognize. Also, as with all the other games in this collection, you can double the native resolution to add a little more clarity and polish to what already looks fantastic. Then we've got Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is PJ's favorite Street Fighter game. As with all other games included in the collection, you're getting both its Western and Japanese variants, meaning that Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper is here for the very first time outside of Japan. Again, we could sit and wax lyrical about this one all day. If you're eyeing this collection, we're sure you already know how great it is. If the killer combat doesn't get you, we're sure the visuals will. All the games included in Capcom Fighting Collection 2 are straight up arcade ports, so you do lose any adventure modes, item shops, and other single player content that was added to console ports. But listen, that's not such a bad thing. The arcade versions, especially with the likes of the SNK and Street Fighter games, are superior and worth ditching stuff for. Less latency, faster, harder opponents, and far better looks in terms of keeping it retro for real. We'll also admit to having an insatiable lust for the arcade audio you get in these versions. It all sounds so dirty. On top of the majesty of Street Fighter Alpha 3, perhaps the pinnacle of what's on offer with regards to fighters in this collection is the pairing of Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro and Capcom vs SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium. Again, here we have two absolute bangers being re-released for the first time since the ye olden days, and they really are still as good as ever. We're talking about some of the greatest arcade fighters of all time, now with rollback netcode so you can fight your mates and other folks alike. You get filters, quick saves, and galleries to unlock, and there's a bunch of achievements to work through, as with every other title. Honestly, any one of these games we're mentioning could become a proper obsession, so don't be surprised if you end up unlocking every last thing. You can hit up separate training modes for every game, stuffed with on-screen input displays, hitboxes, and even the original arcade marquees for you to dig in and become a master. Now, this is quite a positive review thus far, so it's around this time that we usually balance things out by hitting out with some negatives. However, we're struggling to find any, so we'll keep thinking on that as we continue lauding Capcom, this time refusing to rest on the laurels and fill the remaining spots on this roster with lesser games. We've got the likes of Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bill Stein, a 3D fighter from 1998, the incredibly cool Project Justice, and Capcom Fighting Evolution. Yeah, that one's not so great. Aside from that, the rest of these available games give you a clutch of genuine cult classics, especially when it comes to both Plasma Sword and the superb Project Justice. We spoke about Project Justice, or as it's also known, Rival Schools 2, a little in our hands-on preview, and it's worth pointing out here again how this game is a fascinating example of a very specific time in fighting game evolution. This, along with the superb Plasma Sword, are games very carefully straddling a line between 2D and 3D, making the best of the available tech of the time. To go too far into 3D was often a convoluted mess, but to take elements of the third dimension, to allow deft shifts into and out of the foreground and background, added so many new layers to scraps, which still feel wonderfully underplayed and hugely strategic today. Never mind the fact that it also brings us back to the hugely underutilized idea of team mechanics. Throwing Project Justice on for the first time, especially if you've never played it, prepare to be shocked at how stylish and effortlessly cool it still is. Even the menus in this game are awesome, and once the fighting starts, it's still a wonderful thing to behold. A genuinely gorgeous piece of pugilism that feels as intricate, strategic, and involving as ever. Not bad for a 25-year-old slice of action. Finally, to go back and think on those negatives now that we've overdone it on the gushing praise, Capcom Fighting Evolution is a game we can't see anyone bothering with much beyond curiosity and historical lessons, especially when you've got fighters that play so much better in the form of the included Capcom vs SNK double bill. Power Stone also suffers as soon as you play its sequel. We can't see us returning to it much, but it's easy to forgive this for the sake of completion. With unlockable galleries full of intriguing artwork and design sheets, loads of music remixes, these gorgeous marquees for each game, and achievements to keep you locked in for the long haul, never mind all the online and local multiplayer fun, we've been utterly charmed by this one. An essential addition to any learned gamer's Switch collection, and a fantastic time for anyone who just straight up loves really good fighting games. We can't think of much Capcom could have done to make this collection any better. Now, who wants a game of Power Stone 2 online? Because we're ready. We here at Nintendo Life give Capcom Fighting Collection 2 on the Nintendo Switch a 9 out of 10. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below how long you've been waiting to replay some of these games or play them for the first time. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you punch that subscribe button and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up new videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to PJ for trying out every single game in this Capcom Fighting collection. I'm Zian from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.